So the last time you guys were here, this entire side of the shop was basically empty, and we just had these walls freshly painted and the floors looked like garbage. Basically kind of how it looks over here, except much worse. We had a bunch of holes over here and we finally got it all nice and cleaned up. The floors are now epoxied. A lot of you guys may know what this is. I didn't at first, but thanks to my buddy Arlen, he definitely educated me and showed me the process as far as getting the floors this way, epoxy basically. Dude, the shop looks absolutely amazing, at least just this side of it. Once we turn over here, based on the last video, we had this whole side of the shop just basically cluttered with, you know, tools, parts from the 240, parts from the SR. We finally spent the whole day yesterday and, you know, the past week doing the floors, basically just reorganizing everything and putting all the parts and tools on this side of the shop now that the epoxy is finally done curing. So for those of you that have never epoxied your floor before, the first thing I would like to say is, if you haven't done it and you always wanted nicer floors in your garage, for example, I highly recommend you do it. And two, it's actually not as bad as some of you guys may think. It's actually a pretty straightforward process. Like, if your floors are already clean and, you know, smooth, just laying epoxy on it and just adding the flake and the clear coat. So basically, really quick, the process for doing this is you pretty much have your epoxy that you mix with the resin / hardener. You lay that on there, which is kind of like the base coat, and it would be nice to have someone like kind of evenly spread the flake after that, and then kind of let that cure up for about 2 days. Then after that, you can scrape any excess flake that you may not want on the epoxy, and then lay it with the top coat, and that's pretty much it. The top coat takes about like 72 hours to fully cure and harden, and it'll also give the floor that really nice reflective gloss coat. And something I'd like to mention too, over here where we kind of patched up a lot of the holes in the concrete, we were kind of in a hurry. We didn't really want to spend too much time doing concrete floor repairs because one, it was pretty bad, and two, it would take really long if we just sat there just trying to like repair it and smoothen it out. So what we did was we just kind of got like a quick drying concrete, laid it on, kind of sweeped it, and then laid over it. And what's really nice with the epoxy is that when you lay the epoxy on top and it's fully done, with the combination of the flake, of course, it kind of hides a lot of the imperfections on the floor. So it's not like you're gonna really notice it too much. And that's kind of one of the benefits of epoxying your floor. Besides it looking really nice, it just hides a lot of the imperfections. Like right here, usually you would see this if it wasn't epoxied, but when you get up close, you can kind of see, you know, it's not perfectly flat, it's a little wavy. But, you know, when you look at the floors as a whole, you just kind of, you can't really tell any of the imperfections. So it's really great. I believe we spent about $1,800 in material just to get this whole entire space filled with epoxy. Obviously we're not done yet, but according to the guy that we purchased the epoxy from over at Sherwin-Williams, he said we needed so and so amount for what this might be like a 4,500 square foot garage or space. So $1,800, and then me and Arlen and Tyler, we're doing it ourselves, so we're saving a lot in labor. Typically something like this to get professionally done, I heard, can cost anywhere between $10,000 to $12,000. So over here, guys, we have this whole entire space. Obviously not the whole space, we still have to move a bunch of stuff, but the reason why we have this whole space cleared out is because the next step is obviously painting the walls, and then after that, epoxying the floors. We're gonna get a forklift maybe later on this week to move all the heavy stuff over here, work on the floors, and then this fish tank, I have not figured out what we're gonna do with that. Yes, that thing has to go. This reservoir still has to go before we can do the floors, and then these have to be moved over before we can tackle the floors over here. But the plan is, in about 1 week, we plan to have the whole shop painted and the floors done. And then after that, we'll be able to really reorganize the shop and then start installing like the heavy duty equipment. I'm not gonna say exactly what, but you know, I just gotta kind of leave it. I gotta give you guys a little bit of a surprise, so I'm just gonna say heavy equipment. I have to say, I am extremely happy with the progress that we have made on the shop. I did not really think or expect that Arlen and I and our good friend Tyler could manage just to get this much work done on the shop. It hasn't even really been 2 weeks since we fully sent it with the paint and the floors, and we've already gotten this much done. So I gotta say, I'm just so hyped, and I can't wait to see where the shop will be in the next 2 weeks even. If you guys are excited as I am, definitely hit that subscribe button to see what is up next in this building, and also hit the notifications, dude. If you guys wanna, you know, stay up to date with the shop build process and just, you know, the overall experience and maybe even how much we spent on it, I'll probably make a video later on talking about, you know, how much we spent on the shop and all the equipment, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people who maybe pondered the idea of opening up a shop might be curious about that. We can definitely make a video on that for you. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at as far as the shop. This side of the shop looks absolutely mint. I got my 240 over here on dollies. Just like, I'm like itching to get work done on this car, but it's just like, I'm just juggling so many different things, as you can see. But, you know, managed to get the kit looking a lot better. The next step here is the frame rails. I think I talked about it last time, where I was like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do like a full sand cut and reinforce, because I noticed how I have a little bit of space here, but you know what, we're just gonna do it properly and do it right. So about 2 days ago, our pipe bender came in the mail. I have not seen it yet. Let's go ahead and open it up and take a look inside. Yo, this looks like a really nice piece of equipment right here. Check this out. We got a bunch of different parts. I'm pretty sure these are maybe for the different sizes of pipe. I don't really know. I've never used a pipe bender before, so I don't really know what I'm talking about and what exactly I'm showing to you guys. But this over here looks really cool. I think this is the attachment where we can hook it up to the compressor. So let's see if we can slide this out real quick for you guys to see. So here are all the components for the pipe bender we just received. I have never used a pipe bender before. I kind of get the idea of how it works, but for right now, this is kind of what we have, and these are the parts that we've received for the pipe bender. The whole purpose for this tool is for us to bend about 1 3/8 diameter of chromoly pipe. So we're gonna use chromoly to basically reinforce the strut tower, to keep it in place while we basically remove a bunch of material for clearance, because over in Japan, Masaru Ishikawa, the inventor of the wide body kit that I have right now, his convertible Sylvia is on bags sitting on 17-inch wheels on stock body laying frame. He ended up cutting like maybe this much off, and I think on the inside too, he's literally not running any of that. I don't plan on doing the same thing he's doing, because I plan to stay static, maybe do some sort of variable height mods. I don't want to spoil it yet, but I plan to stay on 18s. The wheels are actually with my friend Audrey over with Kuruma. He works for VR Wheels. By the way, shout out to him. If you guys need any 3-piece wheels rebuilt or even made, hit up my boy Audrey. I'll have his Instagram in the description below. He's the guy you want to talk to. So hit him up on IG. He'll take care of you. Name drop me. He'll probably give you a fatter discount, whatever. Just a little plug for you guys in case one of you guys happen to want to rebuild your 3-piece wheels. Anyways, I plan to stay on 18s. So therefore, I don't think I'm going to need to cut as much as Masaru did, but I'm going to do typically the same amount of work, just kind of fit for me. So that is kind of the whole purpose of having this pipe bender, because chromoly is a really tough material that's made for chassis reinforcement or just chassis things. It's made for fabricating chassis parts. There we go. That's what I meant to say. We're ready to full send. We have a TIG and MIG welder here, and I'm definitely gonna be full sending it by myself because that's what I do. I like to do everything on my own and to inspire you guys to do that too, if you guys can. Also, I know a lot of you guys are dying to see this car done as much as I am, but just to point out, you know, one of the biggest setbacks for this build as of right now is gonna be the engine. So the motor is still being worked on at Grom Racing. It's not their fault at all as far as why it's taking the time that it's taking. It's just what it takes to get my motor rebuilt. So in case I forgot to mention in the last videos, besides getting, you know, the lower block and head hot tanked and cleaned up, apparently my head needed a full rebuild, which means just new valves, new valve springs, retainers, guides, all that. And the reason is because my valves weren't seating properly. They were kind of like shimmying as they were closing, and later on, you know, when you get in the high RPMs, like the valve kind of like rattling and shaking like that can eventually cause for a valve to eventually drop into the cylinder, causing much greater damage. So because the head needs to be rebuilt, the engine rebuild process gets scooted back maybe another like few weeks to a month. So currently that's in the works right now, but in the meantime, you know, aside from building the shop, I was able to kind of reorganize all the engine components again, because they were on that dirty old bench over there all messy and shit. Now we have everything reorganized, all the internals kind of laid out. I also want to give a big shout out to Samir over at Grom Racing for doing all the clearancing for me. That is something that, you know, I'm pretty sure a lot of engine rebuilders just kind of want to avoid, because there's just tedious basic math. I mean, it's not even hard math, it's just tedious math that goes into just checking the bearing clearances. And that's why like a lot of engine rebuilders just buy kits that are already spec'd out. All you have to do is change out the bearings and just like, you know, say example you want rods, or like say it was a stroker kit, you just swap everything out, put it together, call it a day. So when the motor is all done with the head rebuild and the lower block line honing and all that good stuff, when that is done, I'll get the motor back and I'll be able to assemble the whole motor by myself, just plug and play, and just kind of go through that process with you guys, because I'm pretty sure, you know, there are quite a few of you guys that, you know, find it interesting to see an SR being built from just the bare block all the way up. So I think it's really exciting content. I'm very excited to show you guys that stuff. This freaking thing, man. This is why my motor blew in the first place. That damn pickup, dude. Freaking snapped on me, starved the engine, caused a bunch of problems, but it's okay. We're over it, moved on. We're gonna keep moving forward. Shout out TJ Hunt. What a beautiful sight, man. Just engine internals, man. Just straight up pure science. Dude, this view is gonna look really good, hopefully in the next month. But as of right now, it already looks absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to see how the shop has evolved. Hopefully in the next few weeks. I just cannot wait to be up here 3 weeks later just to see how it looks from here, because this view is absolutely amazing. I think I'm gonna call this the Tokyo lookout point or something. I don't know, Han's Garage lookout point, whatever. Drop a comment, let me know what you think we should call this lookout point, just because it's honestly the dopest fucking spot in the shop for sure, just because you can see everything. But yeah, let me know. But anyways, thank you guys so much for making it to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the update video of what's going on with the shop and the 240SX as of right now. I don't really like picking up the camera when I work, so I hope that these little update videos are kind of enough for you guys, just kind of showing you guys, hey, here's what we did. Every day is gonna be different, but I hope this suffices for you guys. Definitely trying to put more effort into the channel for you guys, because I really want the channel to be enjoyable for you guys. And I also intend to keep dropping knowledge for you guys as well, at least for the challenges and struggles that I overcome and face. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.